Hey everybody, this is Fran Fraschella, draft expert and basketball junkie. To everybody who's watching, let's get our friends at General Manager Games the subscribers they deserve. Just press that red subscriber button and immerse yourself in sports AI through GM Games content. And on Twitter, it's GM_games. Let's get after it. Let's go.
What's up, everyone? This is the CBGM, and this is the basketball pro version of our players going into the draft. And this is the time I have to do it, so I'm going to get us set up right now, put the word out, see who wants to come around and see where our college stars are going, seniors. Let's see here. I'm going to put the link out now for people. I'm going to send one out to Twitter. Not everyone's following the league, but it's for members to come around and check it out. All right, going live shortly. This is the pro version, so it's a little bit different in terms of how we advertise this. Put that out to the Slack channels right now. And we are live shortly. All right, hopefully people from the league can make it out, check it out at this time. I know people from Europe will love it. Couple more minutes, and then we're going to get into this, maybe a little bit of the preview here, the draft guide, and then we're going to get right into the draft. Let me just save one more time here, just to be safe. And yeah, if you're coming to watch, come say hi in the chat. If you have any questions, just drop them into the chat, and we'll talk about what's going on today. But this is one of the coolest parts of our college basketball league, because what we do is we have a synchronized version in the pro game, and all of our players are starting to compete against each other. So that's one of the cooler factors that we have. So I'm going to get started by looking at the rookie guide. I don't think everyone's here. It's maybe people working on a Friday or having a beer after work in the Eastern time zone, but we're going to get going. So rookie guide, what's up? Well, there's one guy who's pretty much one of the nastiest scorers you've ever seen in our college basketball game, and that's JoJo Crowell, although he's not in this top mock first. So there's some of the AI stuff. They're not thinking he can actually translate pro. Not sure what reasons are, but let's just double check here on JoJo Crowell. It does get into a little bit of his information. So personality issues, maybe there's something that's holding him back, but this man averaged 35.8 points a game. Played basically the whole time for Syracuse. Tried to get them as far as they could, but maybe there's flaws. So three-point shooting is not that high. Field goal percentage is not that high. That could be part of the issue. Looking at who else is up here in this mock draft, Orville Schwartz, big-time player. Mock to even go number 1 to the Raps. I don't know. That'll be tough. But Archibald Boyd from Oregon, he's definitely someone that's interesting in this draft. He didn't play hardly at all, and that was a real shame, because I don't know if they thought they could keep him, but he didn't get run. So that's his combine and his pedigree must be off the chart for him to be something like that. Hey, Coolest Jedi, welcome. Thanks for making it today. We're gonna get going here soon. I'm just going to run through these slides quickly, so if you ever watch the video, we'll say who these guys are. So DeSante Alonso, he's a one and done. Cincinnati. Womack stayed a couple of years. Shiat's a deep three-point shooter, I believe. Point guards, that's the list. That looks like a G League Ignite player. Shooting guards, Crowell, obviously. Milton Thompson, top 10, top 15 player out of CBGM. Ewing as well, out of Florida, one and done, into the pros now. Small forwards, Mikal Robinson, someone who went to UNC, played a couple years, didn't really perform, might do better pro. Schwartz took his UCLA Bruins to the Final Four, lost, but nothing, everything to be proud of for that effort. Power forwards, Xavier, Vernon Harris, Marlon Ford, and G League players are really littering the. Oh no, that's not G League. So Cliff Gaddison is from USC. Just the logos, I guess, didn't come through here. I might have to take a look at those. But yeah, Cliff Gaddison, USC. That's for Van. He'll be cheering for that. And Vernon Harris, one of the top scorers of all time, never went pro. Played his whole career for Xavier. Went to a final with Robert Harris and ended up losing in that final. But yeah, mock draft. Here's the top 5. There's a Memphis Villanova player, Ohio State's Ronald Taylor as well. So with that in mind, let's get to the college draft. So this is pumping some music in my my earphones. You can't hear it, but you got some other background music going on there. So let's see what's going on. Let's see what kind of names, what kind of logos are going to pop up here. This is the hype up montage. So Sharon Grays, I believe he had a 4-year career, amazing one. He's leaving. Darren Powell, the back-to-back champion, one of the best scorers of all time. Number 2, only to Corey Pancrazio. And which player will become the next great? That's G League Ignite, Bobby Olson, Vernon Harris, Mikel Robinson, and some usual similar suspects. JoJo Crowell, big name. Orville Schwartz. So the Raptors that won the lottery, if you're not aware, you can go to our website. I'm going to type it in the chat. Team names are being popped up. You can see also, we do news, journalism for the pro game as well. So you can check that out. Link's been shared in that chat. All right, and it's almost go time. So that video loop is done, and we're into the draft, 2024 draft. We're going to start it off, and then we're going to go by next CPU pick each. All right. So there we go. We got our Woj here. We got commentary, and we got the tickers going, and we're going to start this thing up right now. Keith Patrick's his name. Raptors are on the clock. 5-minute countdown. Talk about what pick they should take. Well, JoJo Crowell could join Dan McRae if they do that. If somehow the NBA scouts stick to this list that they have, then it's going to be Swartz or it's going to be Boyd, and that's how it's looking right now. But the Rockets are after. They have a bunch of CBGM players. Mo Pete here is talking about, who's the GM in Toronto. But we'll let this play another 30 seconds. Oh, JoJo Crowell, Woj knows all about that. Even saying Woj is that Woj or the other guy? I don't know, but someone's hollering JoJo Crowell. So if he doesn't go here, it's gonna be something else. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna line up the pick. Dan McRae was a former top player in CBGM. Powell, Lyde, you name it. Here we go. Let's go CPU pick. And it's Orville Schwartz, and Steve Robertson's on the move. He's going from Marquise Chris to the Pacers. Interesting trade, their former pick. But it's Orville Schwartz, UCLA. He's going to the Raptors. He took his team to the Final Four. So no slouch there. He's the top pick in this year's draft. The Rockets are up. Maybe they freed up a spot, but right now they just traded Steve Robertson, who came from CBGM. Prairie View, one of my guys. Interesting trade. Didn't seem to work out in Houston. They have a lot of depth there. They got Kevin Price. They got a few other players. So we'll see who they take next. Ronald Taylor it is. So JoJo's falling. Don't let Woj, he told us who it should be. I don't know if that's a hint for people who play the game, but hinting out at that guy being the best. So who knows? Maybe the potentials here are different on these players, but these guys right now, that's the order. I didn't understand Ronald Taylor is that good from Ohio State, but must have been. We're at the number 3 slot. We got the Pistons. Don't believe they made the playoffs for some time in the game or real life, but they need help. This is it. Crowell could go there. That could be a huge game changer. Could be Boyd, though. So let's see what we do. What's it going to be? It's Archibald Boyd. So Jojo Crowell continues to dip. Just a pure score. Maybe they're looking for something else. Maybe they want some D. There's a lot of information here about this type of player. If you play the game, it's all in there. So it says a lot about his stats. It's got weaknesses. Says it there. Let's take a look at when Crowell goes, what the weakness will be for Jojo Crowell. And what's up, Breeze? Welcome to the chat. And this is our CBGM PB21 draft going on here. So right now, Crowell could go to Timberwolves or he could go to the Nuggets. Let's see who it is. Oh, right now we got a deal. Will Bauer, one of the leading all-time scorers from BYU's on the move for Brunson in a pick. But it's Villanova's Ross Johnson. So Crowell continues to dip. This was similar to what happened with Dan McRae. Oh, no, Dan McRae went number 2. But we've had some other really good players. Robert Samuel, for example, Indy MVPs, just decline in the draft. And they're dipping right now quite a bit in the integration of the game. So Shaq's looks like Shaq moved to another team. He looks like he's the GM. Woj is talking about it here. So the blue is not Woj. So this guy knew about Jojo Crowell. He's been hollering. So right now the Nuggets are going to take Jojo Crowell is going to Denver's Mile High, and that's where he's ending up. The Syracuse star is what's his weakness? Hands, fumbles, passes, tries to do too much. That's ball hogging. No lift. That doesn't seem like much. But the Nug, I've got Crowell. So he's the biggest name, at least from our league going in, of what everyone thought. So Crowell's in there now. He might not have the highest potential rating. Therefore, the scouting might have revealed something else for Taylor, Boyd, Johnson. So those names. But we're on the OKC. OKC takes Milton Thompson. Norm Powell's on the move, going to Blazers for Favors in a second. So the Celtics pick up some depth in Powell. Milton Thompson, he's a one and done. Played Michigan this year. Got them a pretty good rank. Won a lot of games, but wasn't enough to get them deep into the tournament. But looks like he's a solid pro. Going to OKC. So after this, we're on the Suns. Suns up next. We got some names. They're saying Lides out there, the Texas Tech guys. You got Mike Bender, North Carolina, Mikel Robinson, North Carolina, and Tech players all over. So we'll see how that goes. And the next up CPU pick is going to be Jason Ewing. So the mock draft wasn't that far off, except Crowell did get into it. He wasn't on the original top 5. So Jason Ewing now, Florida one and done. Great player. Got Florida as far as they possibly could, but he's going at the 7 pick to the Phoenix Suns in their effort to replace Chris Paul in the 2025 season. So they're evolving. They got Booker, but Ewing will help Booker if he's still on the team. We'll see. The lineups do tell us who's on the teams here below. We can check that out. So who are the new Nets? I guess that's a question. Is Kyrie, who's not available in real life, but in Durant still on the team? Let's take a look. They'll probably show us their starting 5 in a sec. Yeah, if that was his son, that'd be pretty good, Breeze. So what do we got? We have, they got this pick. They don't have any, obviously no pick taken. But here's the lineup. So Harden's still there. Durant's probably on he's on the move. Irvin's sticking around. But here's the pick. They need the help. Gilbert Lewis from Memphis. Gilbert Lewis, Memphis, has been drafted in the 8th position. And we're moving on to not a lot of guys that actually stood out that much in CBGM, but must have a lot of potential. So 13 a game taken there. We're at the Blazers. They need some help. We'll see what their starting players are, or whoever's under contract. Lillard's still under contract. Not the greatest lineup there. Nurkic, Giles there. They need some help. So let's see what they take. DeSante Alonso, Cincinnati. So Warlords player before he left Cincinnati to go to Arkansas. DeSante Alonso, that one and done player, is someone who's a top 10 NBGM pick. So DeSante Alonso is taken next. Let's see what the Wizards are up at the number 10 slot. They take Derek Womack from Notre Dame. So Agalia's one of his star guards, someone who tried to carry that team as far as they could go. He's a top 10 pick, so he hit the 10 pick, so he just made it. And we're into past the top 10, but still in the lottery. So the Hawks, Hornets, and Lakers are next. Hawks, they got an interesting team. Trae Young. This is a team that's won before. They had, I guess, a pick they traded for or something, but they got a combination of Zach LaVine and, ironically, DeMar DeRozan, who are both in real life on Chicago, but ended up on this Hawks team. So we'll see what kind of supplementary player they add at the same time. And we got Mikal Robinson joining them there from UNC. And so he stuck around a couple years and then he left. But guess he could have gone when he was in his sophomore year. He scored 17 a game in the ACC. That was pretty big for them. UNC wasn't really much of... They did actually get a little deeper in the tournament, beat a couple people and hung around, but it is what it is. Okay, so Bridge is still here. We got Graham, who's on this team, but in real life he's moved. But this is all fake universe. This is the NBGM. We just simulate this as observation. So next up, we're going to CPU pick. We got Vernon Harris. This guy should have maybe transferred at some point. He was really unhappy with his team. Stuck around all the way to the end, played to his senior year, had great ratings, sticking around. So he's going even before Powell's gone. So interestingly enough, the pro game is doing their own judgment on who they think will be some of the best players. So Powell's not anywhere in this mock too much. He's got to be coming up though. There's a lot of names, like good names that are left. We got guys from UNC and Bender, Darren Powell and Lyde. They're both quality. More seniors maybe left to go. Corey Pangrazio still out there to be drafted, the all-time scorer. So let's see who the Lakers take next. LT Foster. Baylor didn't really do what they needed to do. He had a kind of average year, this guy, but was pedigree player, top 10. Seemed like he was an indie camp, top 5 player, probably indicative of his potential, not his actuals, and therefore he's going earlier in the pro. Didn't do so well in his 1 year at CBGM, so he's gone. What do we got next? We got the Pacers up. The Pacers select Bob Olsen. So we got a G League Ignite player showing up. No stats there because the CBGM, we didn't really have this man in that league. So he's integrating in, but he was always around on G League Ignite, and now he's being selected. So there's a G League Ignite player going the top 15, and he's going the Pacers. So they're choosing to go outside the CBGM route. All right, we got a next pick, the Heat at 15. Charles Fajardo. He's going from Maryland, was a big player for Kid Coffee Black. He was, I don't know his season too well, but Maryland definitely got in there, made a difference from what I remember. So Maryland, I think they made a bit of a run there, so they weren't really ignored. And that's a team that likes to win every year. So interestingly enough, he goes in the draft. So number 16 we got Brian Napier. I think this man's another G League Ignite. So they're going in the mid rounds. In real life, it seems like G League Ignite players, Kuminga and Green went in the top 5 to top 10. But in this game, there was almost a top pick, a number 2 one, an amazing player in it. But in this case, these guys seem like kind of average. So next pick, the Bucks, Antetokounmpo still there. And looks like they need some help, so they're taking Darren Powell. The two-time champ, the Norton Award winner one year before Crowell showed up. Not ignored, did not go that far down. Darren Powell's going to join Giannis in Milwaukee. So that's a good storyline to pay attention to in CBGM and the NBGM. But here come the Blazers. They're back. Had a pick earlier, up again. See who they take this time. Nolan. All right, trade come in. Cedric Julius. He was a player. He won a Norton Award, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, on Minnesota. But that's a deal there. So Nolan, here comes another G League Ignite player. All right, we're up with the Kings now. And funny enough, LeBron James signed with the Kings last year, trying to maybe get them going somewhere. But it's Fox and Bagley looks like carrying this team. So who are they going to add in terms of help? It's a late pick, so they were in the playoffs. And we got Amon Parquet from Pitt. So I don't know too much about this guy, but was taken by the AI-run Pitt team. Only to go pro. I don't think he went the full 4 years. And yeah, the King went to the Kings. That's legit, 100%. That's the story. No pun there. That's just truth. So yeah, LeBron, the King himself, King James, ended up with the Kings. I don't know if he retired, but he's 40 now in this game at least. So it could have been his last year. So Clipper up. They always seem to be knocking on the door, but not that close. Semifinals, I think one time. We haven't seen them in our finals yet. So let's see here. Mike Bender, North Carolina. He's going to end up at the Clip, and he was stuck around a couple, 2-3 years. I think he left in his junior year actually. So kind of hung out 3 years of college before going pro, but could have gone earlier for sure. Definitely Tom Brady vibes with the age. Is the ageless in this? So here's an interesting one. Curry doesn't look signed yet. We'll see where he goes maybe in free agency, but the Warriors did go to the finals, and in the finals they lost, but Steph took them there again. So that's what happened last year in this league, losing to the Celtics. Celtics and Jason Tatum were the champs. So you'll see that they'll be around 30, I think, for draft picks. So Felix Gordatos from Greece. He is played at Kansas as an import player, and now he's going to the Warriors. So Felix Gordatos from Greece that's his next stop. All right, Spurs are up. Spurs don't seem to do well in this game ever. They got Murray still. That's about it. But they need a lot of help. So who are they going to get from CBGM? Leroy Okodi has now been drafted out of Arizona, ending up with the Spurs. So staying in that not far from that geographical part. So he's moving from Arizona to San Antonio, Texas, and that's the next move. Gortatos' name is so long it doesn't fit in the video game, in the draft board. That Greek name has broke the game. All right, so Pels are up. They did make a good run. They got a healthy Zion that's going. They got. We should probably take a look at this lineup because this is a team that could one day win it all. They seem to be in the semifinals a lot, and yeah, Jason Ewing is a very early pick, Bubba, so he's gone. All right, let's see what the lineup is. I just want to see what the Pels lineup. All right, we're looking at still, okay, Lonzo's still here in this universe. They got Randall, so that's interesting. Zion doesn't look like he's there. Maybe signing elsewhere or re-signing. We'll see. And it's the three-point assassin, Casey Johnson. This man is the best shooter probably to ever come out of the CBGM. So this guy, by the end of his career, shooting close to a 50% clip, lots of threes, lots of attempts, leaves Illinois. didn't really get them over the hump as a team, but a pure scorer. So we see still in the first round, Johnson goes. So who's not taken in the first round? Let me think of some names. Lyde's not gone. Powell went to join Giannis, so that's no shame there. Corey Pangrazio, the all-time scorer, he's not taken yet. So the Bulls are up, and the Bulls will take Josh Grizzard. So slow clap to this. I don't know anything about him. So G League player Josh Grizzard ends up in Chicago, and we'll move to the next pick in a sec because that one is boring as hell. Okay, we care about our college players getting picked. So 76ers, what's up with that? Let's take a look. 76ers, 25th pick, Philly. Who are they going to take? Sharon Grays. So Sharon Grays, great career stats. Took Michigan State, helped Michigan State to the Final Four this year, losing to Texas Tech, which is no shame ever. Texas Tech basically reinvented tactical execution at its highest level. So they won the back-to-back championship. Michigan State lost Sharon Graves, and he's drafted. Okay, so Celtics, they won the championship, but they have the 26th pick. I guess going in, they weren't that great. So let's see what happens. And Celts pick Christian Bennett. Look like he contributed to that Final Four UCLA team that lost to Creighton. 11.2 points a game, boards, grabbing those boards. He's another piece that's being added to the Celtics. The Celtics have Khalid Jones, a big center from the CBGM. He's stepping up every year. And the Hawks are up, and then the Knicks are after. So the Hawks, 2 first-round picks, and they have been champions before. And Trae Young is our back-to-back MVP. So what does that mean? Who's going to get help? And they got Marlon Ford, and I don't know anything about him. So G League Ignite, they must have a good potential ratings or something, but their potential is a bit higher than the college guys, I guess. So it looks like there's about 4 or 5 of them taken already, and they must have a lot of one day potential. So that's all right. Next up, we got the Knicks. Knicks got Brian Felix, an old Duke point guard from our league. Morris, another guy from our league. So let's see who they take. Tony Marlowe is Blinks in the house. A draft pick out of Georgia Tech. No points, but Marlowe getting the love from the Knicks. Wow, didn't get any PT. What is up there? But that, holler that out to Blink. The AI is just in love with that guy. So John Doncic still on the Mavs. A lifer ideally, but he needs help. So, all right, in the first round, they're going to take Cliff Gaddison from USC. So, interesting there. Cliff Gaddison's going in this draft right now. And Bucks back-to-back picks here. So Van should be happy with Gaddison being selected. I see the Bucks get, so they have Powell as well. They don't add him right away down here. A couple players named Brown. Chauncey Sawyer from Zags. Don't know too much about him, but he scored 50 in a game. Center must have been a decent scoop. Not sure if he was a long time player or I guess this guy I really don't know that much about. Zags will make more noise in the league though. You cannot keep them out. They have great prestige. So, all right, we're into like the second round now. So, what are we gonna do? We're gonna run through these picks a lot sooner. So let's run these picks. We got Greg Smith out of Marquette to the Bucks. think it's really pausing on this guy quite a long time. All right, next up, Nug. Marcus Payne, Indiana. And the Nugs look like they got another pick there. So it looks like they're able to stockpile these picks pretty good. And Nug again, and their next one is the Baylor player. Okay, so Surge on the move, older Surge. Jeremy Lamb's getting old too. Bit of a garbage trade. Johnny Bradley, Baylor. 8 a game. And yeah, I don't know where he was in terms of ranking at some point, but all right. T-Wolves up, 34th pick. They got Wallace Bean, Mississippi State. So Wallace Bean's drafted. Now you got to think Corey Pangrazio at some point is going to get taken, but it's commonplace that some of the seniors, the four-time players, don't get love as much, but they end up playing pretty well over the course of their career potentially. So Magic up, 35th pick. Seth Carroll, Virginia. And Seth Carroll's drafted out of the Virginia. Next up, 36th pick. The Suns, they take Scott Marlowe. So another Marlowe, Tony and Scott. I'm not sure if they're related, but UNLV. So we got Josh, one of his guys going in the draft. LSU Tigers, Josh, in the second round. Going to Phoenix. All right, and what else do we got here? We got the Thunder up, 36th pick. 37th pick. Conway out of Tennessee. So the Bucks, the Wizards, the Celtics are up. So Pangrazio gets taken in this range here somewhere. He's going to go to a good team. Stuart Simmons. So we still got some players that were, high pedigree players in ranking and CBGM. So the second round is not empty here. This is there's a lot of seniors from the initial game spawn that are going into the game. Powell though made it into the first, so they gave him love. All right, Wizards are up 39. Lou Abrams, USC. So 2 players from Van are now taken. And let's see who's up after that, after the Wizards. We got Celtics again, the champs. Who are they going to add? Any insurance? Daryl Marshall, Missouri. So Spider gets a draft pick here. One of his guys going in the second round. $12 a game. Looked like he was a good contributor. Magic, 41. Magic won a championship in this game. BJ Anderson's a tremendous player. You can see their lineup here. Anderson's still there. And they're in transition. So let's see. Hicks from USC. So that's the 3rd player. USC must have lost their whole team. 3 draft picks. 3 draft picks after. Yeah, who knows what their team's like this year, if that's what they have left. All right, so next up, we got the Grizz, and the Grizz take JoJo Geeson. I think that's the way you pronounce it. But anyways, another JoJo, not the ultimate JoJo of the draft, but he was a good player. Didn't get a lot of run last year with the AI. 5 a game in the second round. Right now, who needs a big in this league? Who's going to take Corey Pangrazio? Lakers are up. Lakers take Courtney Johnson out of Xavier. So Xavier, they lost two like really good players, guys who averaged over 12 a game. So this is the next one out now. See who's coming up next. And CPU picking for the Rockets. Steve, I can't believe Steve Robertson went and got traded. So
Here's what I found on the web.
oh, Google likes to help me out there. Okay, Clifton Hobbs, Cincinnati. So another Cincinnati player to go with Alonzo. So Warlord, another graduate here. At some point, maybe I should stop anticipating a Corey Pangrazio sighting. That's maybe he's got to sign as a free agent. Maybe he's athletic though, so we'll see. All right, T-Wolves up 45. Grand Eggers, BYU. We're almost towards the end of the draft. We probably have about 15 picks to go, so we'll be wrapping this up shortly. And next up, the Grizz. And the Grizz take Jamal Young, Washington. 10 a game, don't know much about him. But from the Washington Huskies to the Memphis Grizzlies. All right, the Cavs are up at 47, and the Cavs take Alvin Lyde finally goes. So there's finally a guy. So a guy of Blinks is on the move. Seton Hall's old Shantae Devone on the move. But Alvin Lyde. So, I mean, if Alvin Lyde goes this late, no shame for Corey Pangrazio to go this late. Great pickup. He goes to the Cavs. So that'll be an interesting play. Next up here for the Jazz, John Williams from Purdue. So one of their pride and joy players who stuck around for a little bit. Oh no, it went pro declared, but was a bigger name recruit for Purdue. He now goes to the Jazz. So his pedigree is being taken over Pangrazio there, and that's a center. Next up for the Kings, Corey Pangrazio. Seth Curry on the move there. I can finally shut up. But Corey Pangrazio is the 49th pick. 23.9 a game. Going to the Kings. Chance to play. Chance to start. I think that lineup needs help. It looked like they were just Bagley and Fox, so they were pretty empty at the center spot. Could be a huge steal in the second round and work out really well for the Kings. All right, Pacers next. Let's see. He's saying that he wants to see how he does pro. I think it's a pretty good pick. Next up, Chris Stewart, Texas. Yeah. So his name was on the list of mock draft top players, but then went to slate. So Pangrazio's beating this guy, at least. $51, Warriors up. Garvin, Terrell, I don't know anything about this VCU guy. 6 a game at VCU. Must be some sort of athletic player or something. Defensive because he lacks offense, I guess, over there. Hawks, more picks. What do they got? Kyle Bryant, Miami. Their G League is going to be filled up with players. Who knows if they even sign all these guys after camp? Not a special player at Miami at all either. All right, Nets are up. Charlie Lostetter, G League Ignite. Almost done this draft here. And Pistons take Tyler Smiley out of Alabama. So Cavs gets his player drafted. Tyler Smiley, 13 a game. Center, Pistons get the big man help there. A few more picks to go. Doug Armstead, UTEP, Texas El Paso, going to the Sixers. We have about 5 picks left. And Blazers here, Kenyon Levy, I guess. Pitt, not too familiar with the Pitt team. Only scored 6 a game, but going the second round, so maybe worth the risk. And Warriors, another pick for help. Adrian Harris, Cincy. So 3 players from Warlord drafted. And what do we got? 58. The Celts, another pick here. Lawrence Peppers out of Ohio, the Bobcats from Machine Earned Runs. He's his top player, maybe of all time, but a great player at Ohio. Lawrence Peppers, drafted by the Celtics. Mavs and Bucks are left. Rogers Gregory, Miami, and Mr. Irrelevant, maybe last pick. But in basketball, there's a lot of free agent signings who still do just fine. It's not easy to be drafted in the NBA. And Bob Dean. So they go G League at the end. So that's it. That's the end of the draft. And I want to thank everyone for coming on today and watching this with us. If you're not familiar with what we are, we're the it's the college basketball general manager on Draft Day Sports. And I want to thank everybody. Check out the link that was up earlier. Okay. Thanks again. CBGM.news website. Okay. Thanks. Love you guys.